lethal misbeliefs. I want to quickly walk you through them. They're from right there on your teaching notes as well. Number one, that there's a God-ordained division between clergy and laity. That's just deathly. If you think somehow that clergy are automatically more spiritual, and let me say it this way. I really believe there's a calling to be a pastor. There's a calling to be a teacher. There's a calling to be an evangelist, an apostle, prophet. Those are spiritual accountabilities and responsibilities. I honor that. I've spent my life serving the church. However, the ground at the foot of the cross of Jesus is level. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, what your race is, your ethnicity is, what your socioeconomic status is. The ground at the foot of the cross is level. So we can clap for that, okay? Let's just clap. You need to. It'll make you warm. It'll be good. So the truth is this, is that you don't come in this church and go like, oh boy, if they only knew. Hey, folks, every one of us have a if we only knew. Like, there's stuff in like if you only knew, all of us have that. The ground at the foot of the cross of Jesus is level. There's not this division like the clergy are automatically closer to God. I have an assignment in my life, and so do you. I have an assignment in my life, an accountability. Think about Billy Graham. Was he not amazing, incredible, like spoke to more people than ever in human history and shared the gospel, and thousands of people came to know Christ. I got to hear him in several crusades. Oh, amazing. But do you know what? You have an assignment on your life every bit as important for the kingdom of God as Billy Graham had on his. I know you can't believe that, but D.L. Moody, a famous evangelist in the 1800s, he was actually won to Christ by a shoe cobbler. A person who repaired shoes for a living, who taught a Sunday school class for a group of boys who were misbehaving. How many of you know there's always been groups of little boys who misbehave? It's just part of like the nature of life. Some of you have raised them. Some of you are praying for them right now. I mean, that's just the way it is, okay? But D.L. Moody was a misbehaving little boy who was won to Christ by a shoe cobbler whose name you'll never know, but who led D.L. Moody to Christ, and D.L. Moody was the Billy Graham of his generation. You have no idea what role or what assignment you have. Your accountability, by the way, is not to run Billy Graham's race. It's to run your race. So, number two, the church is called to operate primarily inside a building, often referred to as a temple. This is just a real problem, folks. If you think the church is here only, that only those events that take place here, and I'm a fan of the church, I'm a lover of the church, I'm excited about this church, but if you think the church is only what takes place on this property address, that's a problem. I am for this. I want people to gather together. I do think there's something sacred about what happens here. But can I tell you this? If you're a follower of Jesus, when you leave this building, you are the church. You are taking the church, you're taking the good news of Jesus, and we'll learn about this, into your neighborhood, into your family, into your workplace. You are Jesus with skin on. You're the church. Number three, people involved in business cannot be as spiritual as those serving in traditional church ministry. I just want to put that to death right away. That's just lethal. If you think somehow that pastors are automatically more spiritual, just talk to our spouses. Okay, number four. That's a nervous laugh. The primary role of marketplace Christians is to make money to support the vision of those in the ministry. And by the way, I'm just going to mention a couple of families. The Green family. Do you know that I believe that the Green family, they're the people who own a Hobby Lobby, I believe the Green family have an assignment from God to maximize the wealth that they generate. I think God gave them the idea. That's their story, by the way, and their testimony is that God gave them the idea for Hobby Lobby. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to be faithful with their calling. And it's not just about making money. It's about being involved in ministry. They are in ministry every bit as much as I am. So there is an assigned ministry for church roles, but everybody is in ministry. You might have 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 pastors in a church, but everybody's in ministry. Does that make sense?